Hello everybody and welcome to the third hunt film at Water in 2019. My youngest brother drew a really good deer tag this year in New Mexico, and that's what this hunt film is about. I captured some really cool footage on this hunt that I can't wait to share with you. But before we get into the story, let me just offer a thank you to all the people supporting us on Patreon. The Patreon community for Water continues to grow, and it's through these funds that we can actually capture and share these outdoor adventure stories with you. And I want to offer a very special thank you to our Broadhead tier in our Patreon community who's supporting us at $45 a month. Those organizations are the Nuestra Tierra Conservation Project, New Mexico Avid Hunters, and De Caceria, whose cap I'm actually wearing. They're very comfortable, pretty nice. Check them out online. As I did in the last hunt film in August, or actually September rather, when we released the antelope film, is I'm going to interject along the way in this story. It's impossible for me to capture every single moment on these hunts, so I figure after the fact I can fill you in and make sure that you don't miss anything in the story that was important and big detail. So without further ado, let's get right into it, and thanks for watching.
Good morning, good morning. I just wanted you guys to check out this sunrise. We're actually glassing the hill behind the camera, so the sun will be at our backs this morning, but I just wanted you to see this sunrise with the moon right over there also. It's really pretty. No clouds, gonna be blue skies today. Yeah, it's a really beautiful start to the morning right there. So what happened is we spotted some bucks on state land. A group of deer. And we think there's a young buck with them. Pretty sure we saw a fork, bro. Both of us saw a fork. They might have heard us coming. And booked it. Michael can't see him anymore. Just don't see a buck in there. I see a bunch of does. And I don't know if that's private.
As you can see, within that first hour after the sun was up, we were on deer right away, which is extremely encouraging. As you know, if you're a hunter, you can go 4 or 5 days without seeing any animals whatsoever. So to be on deer right away was extremely encouraging. And that pretty much matched our expectations. 2 years ago, I drew this hunt. And actually, I drew the muzzleloader hunt. It wasn't a rifle hunt. My brother drew the rifle hunt. And we just saw deer all over the place. And I was lucky enough to actually tag out on that hunt opening morning. So we had high expectations to at least see deer right away on this hunt. And sure enough, our expectations were met, which was awesome. And we thought we saw a fork in that group in the morning. And the video obviously shows no forker in there. I think we saw it and it must have taken off before the does, or our eyes were just playing tricks on us and we were hoping for a fork. Remember, this is Michael's first tag ever in his life. He has never drawn a hunt. So there wasn't going to be anything. We weren't being picky. He wasn't going to be picky. The first legal buck he saw, he was going to shoot. Let's get back into it.
This area has a lot of rolling hills. It's not exactly flat. It's pretty flat, but it's a lot of rolling hills. So we're just trying to get to these high points and do some glassing, see if we can spot some bucks. Okay, so here's what's happening. We're walking this hill and we glass these deer up. We're not sure if there's a buck in there, but they're just over this hill. So Mike's gonna take a look. They grazed up over that hill right there, so Mike's gonna go up to that hill. Oh, they're out there, I see them. we're seeing. I don't know, we're still a ways out, probably 300-400 yards. I think Mike would take a 400-yard shot. But they're out there, they're moving away from us. That one right here is a doe. There's at least 5. When I first spotted them, there was 5 of them altogether. But they're grazing, they're eating right now, so I couldn't tell if it was a buck or not. If it is a buck with all these females, it's going to be a smaller buck because they're not rutting yet, so the big bucks are not with the does right now. Let me show you guys Mikey though. Mike's right here. We focus on him. There we go. So he's probably trying to see if there's bucks in the group. Doesn't look like he can tell. Or maybe he can tell that they're all does. That's a doe for sure right there. But I saw several other deer with her. Mike said he sees 3 does. So, this is what we're glassing right now. It's crazy how fast these deer can disappear. But they're definitely there. They're bedding down now. Probably a group of 4 or 5. So we're pretty sure this whole group is does. But Mike, well, Jonathan wants to see him up close. So I just told Mike to take him out there for a walk. But Mike's in front just in case there is a little buck in the group. He can take a shot. They're probably 300 yards away from where we saw them bed now. So these deer should be standing up here pretty quick. See how close they let them get before they stand up. Dang, they're already probably within 200 yards where I saw that one bed. They've got to be there still. I'm talking pretty loud too, so. Thought for sure they would have stood up by now. Holy crap, how did they not hear them? I don't know, maybe they moved up when we were talking. Because by now I feel like they should be like right in the thick of them. Thing about this situation was so ideal is we had the sun at our backs, the wind in our face, and these deer never knew we were here. We saw them bed. All we needed was for there to be a buck in the group. That's all we needed. Second group of does we've seen today. And there they go. There they go. Dang, look how close they let them get. Whoa. I don't think Michael and Jonathan saw him. I don't think they saw him. They're over there looking to the right. Meanwhile, the deer over there in the background running away. Oh man, that was good. Let's see if I can find him. I can see that one running. There she is. There they are up there.
I'm gonna have to look at the replay, but I can only see 1, 2, 3, and those are all does. Yeah, those are all does. Mike! There they are! There's another set. Shoot. See, this is what I'm saying. You're not gonna see that from the road. You gotta get out of your truck. Is there a little buck in there? I can't tell. Doesn't look like it. I don't know if Michael and Jonathan can see him. That's a doe. They're all does. At least we know, though. Yeah, they're all does. This was absolutely one of the cooler moments in the hunt. Kind of funny also. Turns out Jonathan and Michael did not see 3 of those deer as they were walking up. The deer had taken off, as you saw. The deer took off to one end of the screen and they were going the other way. And so I'm, 300 or 400 yards behind them, just having a good old laugh about it. While I was doing that, another set of deer stood up and they saw those deer for sure. At this point, half a day had passed and we were hungry, so we stopped to have some lunch. And because Michael didn't have a whole lot of time to be out on the hunt, he only had a day and a half to hunt due to some personal family reasons. We wanted to utilize as much time as we could out in the field as possible. There was a spot that when I had hunted this unit 2 years ago that I had waypointed because I had been seeing deer using this area. And so I had waypointed this spot and I had told Mike, we should really go try that spot, we'll park the truck, we'll walk in because I think the deer are using this area as a little corridor. And so the plan really for that afternoon hunt and the evening hunt was to get to that spot before the deer started getting out of their beds and sit down and just wait for golden hour, right? For when these deer start moving around. And so that's exactly what we did. We got to this little bowl and we're sitting there and sure enough, some deer start walking up on us. Check this out. This is also one of the really cool spots of the hunt.
They have no idea we're here. 60 yards. Yards. We saw those deer walk all the way in from way back there. They never saw us. Unfortunately, there's no bucks in that group. Michael would have had an 80-yard shot. And you know what else? Hey, our lungs. Our whole body was facing us the whole time. Broadside. Would have been an easy shot. She's pretty big, too. We're about half a mile, maybe a little more, maybe like a mile from the truck, and from any road right now. We were just sitting in this bowl, waiting for magic hour. And these does came out. All we needed was for that to be a buck, and Michael would have filled his tag. Pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. The strategy had paid off, and it was fun to experience that, especially with the guys. And Jonathan, again, had never been on a hunt. So for him, it was kind of like out of this world to see that happen. But Once again, there wasn't a buck in that group, and so Mike didn't have a shot. And that pretty much summed up that evening for us. The following morning, winter showed up or something. There wasn't any snow, but it was 20 degrees cooler than it was the day before. It was 20 to 30 mile per hour gusts all day long. The wind never let up. And it seemed like the deer had just vanished on us. We were having trouble finding deer that day. And we had some good strategies. You know, we had some really good strategies, just like the day before. Finally, we're driving the road, and I see this young buck, probably about 600 yards off the road. And this was Mike's shot, right? So we parked the truck, and we walked 200 yards towards these deer. And so we get to 400 yards, and my brother Mike did not feel comfortable taking a 400-yard shot. So he didn't, you know, and he said, if we can get 100 yards closer, I'll take the shot. So we get to 320. He's getting ready to take the shot, and the deer must have felt it because right at that moment, he bounced and ran off with the 2 does that he was with, and we never saw him again. And that pretty much summed up the second day of the second morning, that half day that we had to hunt and find deer, and it just didn't happen. So, you know, unfortunately, Mike did not fill his tag on this hunt. But I tell you what, we saw 40 deer in a day and a half. If you're a hunter, you know, that's a luxury. Had we had, you know, another 3.5 days, and everyone always said this, you know, says things like this, you know, speculates, but we had a pretty good chance of Mike filling his tag. But, you know, what an incredible hunt with 2 of my brothers. Mike's first tag ever, and, you know, our other brother, you know, he had never even been on a hunt. So for him, this was a brand new experience. The terrain was also beautiful. The landscapes were fantastic, you know, so we just had all around, we had a blast on this hunt. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel if you haven't. I promise there's a lot more content to come. We're just getting started. We're 6 years in at water, and I'm telling you right now, I've never been more motivated to capture outdoor adventure stories than I have right now. But thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and good luck out there.